Hi, in this video I want to talk about the top 10 business trends for 2021. As a futurist, I help companies understand the latest trends, the latest technologies, and how to prepare their business for this. So in this video I want to share with you the top 10 trends that I believe will be driving businesses, and every business around the world needs to be ready for those 10 trends. Work from home, but this time for real. What lots of businesses have experienced is that they had to have people working from home because of the coronavirus pandemic, and lots of businesses are now rethinking their entire business model. They're rethinking, do we still need offices? But if we're really honest with ourselves, productivity has gone up for businesses, but the way people work from home is not necessarily great for everyone. There are some people that have amazing and comfortable offices in their houses. They have all the equipment, they can do this very well. There are lots of people that work on a kitchen table that haven't got a comfortable chair. So what businesses are now really need to do is they need to reimagine their own workspaces, their offices, and really support people working from home. So they need to give them the right office equipment, the right computers, comfortable chairs, the right setup, and also the mental health support and everything that goes with it to really make sure everyone can work from home comfortably in the future. Data as an asset. Data volumes have grown massively over the last few years. What we are now seeing is that businesses that leverage this data to better understand their customers, to improve their decision making, are clearly the ones that are outperforming everyone else. Especially with cloud solutions, we are now able to access data from anywhere. Artificial intelligence allows us to automate even some of the data analysis. But what businesses need to do is they need to really treat it as an asset. They need to make sure data is protected and secure, so it can't be stolen, it can't be interfered with. The other thing that we need to do is we need to make sure everyone in the business has access to data and some ability to turn this data into insights. So we need to boost not only the systems, but also the data literacy in the organization. And this is a big stumbling block for lots of organizations where they have massive amounts of data, but they might have the tools, but they haven't got the skills that people need to really think, what is my key business question? How can I now use this data to help me answer this business question? And this is something that we need to boost in 2021. Business model innovation. What we need to do now is to really reflect on what are we offering our customers, how do we operate as a business. What we've seen is that lots of industries have been completely transformed during 2020. We see this in the hospitality industry, in the events industry, and businesses that have carried on thriving are the ones that have been able to react to this really quickly. If you are a restaurant and on day one of lockdown you really rethought your restaurant and made sure that you have takeout abilities. There are companies like even the Formula One companies that were producing ventilators. And this is something businesses have always needed to do. Think, how is the market shifting and how do we transform our own business model? And innovating your own business model is, I think, more important in 2021 than ever before. Another massive trend for 2021 is automation. What businesses have been doing is they've looked at their own business processes and said, where can we take people out of the process where they're not really adding true value? So we've seen this in warehouses, in supply chains. We now have automated vehicles, we have trucks and ships driving and sailing autonomously, and we're seeing this in lots of business operations where we now have chatbots that can replace call centers, or at least a big part of it. And more what we'll see in 2021 is this white-collar automation, where we think, if we look at the job of a lawyer, the job of a doctor, for example, Which bits can we actually automate? Which bits can we give to artificial intelligence and smart robots? And this will carry on. And we're seeing this already. I work with so many different organizations that are rethinking the way education is delivered, healthcare is delivered, and even many of the services we're used to are delivered through automated interfaces. Decentralized finance is another big trend. What we are seeing at the moment is that capital markets are very nervous. So if you want to raise capital to expand, to start a new business, this is extremely difficult in current circumstances where banks want more security. What we are now seeing is that things like crowdfunding enables businesses to get money very quickly for lots of different projects. So this decentralized finance where we can raise money from lots of new sources, where blockchain technology comes in, where we can issue coins and we can go to crowdfunding sites to gain capital. This is going to be a big trend in 2021. Virtual interfaces is another big trend, where we really think about how can we deliver some of the services in a digital format, especially using things like augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. Again, during the pandemic, people realize, actually, do I really need to go into the shop to try on makeup if I can use an augmented reality app that allows me to put the makeup on and try and test it? Do I really need to have a consultation with a fashion advisor? If my virtual avatar can try this on in VR and I can actually place this in the different settings, be this a ballroom or an office environment, to see what the clothes will actually look like from all different perspectives. So this whole try before you buy and this new world of virtual interfaces will continue in 2021 and will transform how businesses offer their services. Another big trend is going from global to local. What we are seeing in this current political and economic climate is that we have seen supply chains being disrupted by coronavirus. We're seeing increasing tensions between the US and China. We're seeing Brexit being delivered in Europe. And all of this means that companies need to rethink, okay, where am I sourcing my goods? Where am I selling my goods? And what we are seeing is that there's a big movement towards more localized buying, more localized manufacturing, more localized selling. And this is also a movement towards more environmental awareness, because what people realize is, okay, do I really need to ship my fruit and vegetable from across the world, or can we grow this locally and sell this locally? So this is a big trend where businesses really rethink where their products come from and where they are going. We also need to make sure that our businesses become purposeful and meaningful. What we have realized, especially during 2020, many of us rethought their own jobs and what they're doing, and especially also with the younger generation Z coming through, what we're seeing is that people want to connect to a purpose. They want to work for a company that has a real meaning and that also links to their own values. And companies that haven't got a clear purpose and a meaningful purpose will find it very difficult to not only attract talent in 2021, but also attract customers. Sustainability. This is something that has been important for such a long time, but I feel that during the current pandemic, things have shifted in emphasis. Organizations have maybe thought, okay, we need to focus on the coronavirus and less on the impact our business has on the environment, on global warming and other things. If we are really serious about all of this, we need to recognize that the environmental crisis could potentially be much bigger than the coronavirus crisis that we're going through at the moment. So businesses need to make sure that they rethink their own operations, the environmental impact those have, but also their products and how they're being used. And we need to be very clear that we need to reduce our carbon footprints, we need to reduce our water footprints, and we need to make sure we have a business that is green. And for me, this also very closely links with our purpose that I talked about before, because if we don't do this well, we will find it difficult to attract talent in the future and also sell our products in the future. Another really important trend is social engagement. What companies need to do is they need to make sure they engage with their customers and potential customers across social media. This has become such an important channel, especially during the pandemic that we're going through at the moment. And businesses that haven't got a strong presence simply feel a bit lost. They suddenly have lost access to customers. So what we're seeing here is that there's a big push towards a more authentic presence on social media that is less curated by communication experts, but we say these are our real people working for our organizations. This is a real behind the scenes footage. And especially a big trend that goes with this is actually engaging influencers. Not necessarily the massive million subscriber influencers, but even micro influencers that are influential in your industry. This is something we need to, as a business, you need to really think about. Who are the key people that are driving those conversations across social media that have built some trust, and how do we engage with them to bring across our message? So these were my 10 business trends for 2021. I hope that was useful. If you want to learn more about any of these trends, head to my website where I have hundreds of articles. Subscribe to this channel where you can view hundreds of videos on any of these technology trends, or have a listen to my podcast.